Hey everybody. All right. So here I am again. It is officially 8:01, so I'm actually starting on time. I don't know what that is. Give me one sec. I'll be right back. There we go. Oh wow, black does show up better on camera, doesn't it? Ah, figuring all this out. I'd like to update, yes. All right. DSH is officially updated. All right. So, haven't been too consistent with this. Please bear with me. My mother passed away last month and dealing with a lot of that. And yeah, how's that for truth? Uh, Doing okay. Was been watching a lot of podcasts and reading books and learning about things. And people talk about, oh, the best way to do X is this. The best way to do a podcast is this, or best way to do I don't know, anything. Uh, what I've realized is it's me. A little bit about me. I love coding. Always have. Been doing it since I was 9. And I think stories actually help more than I realized in regards to um it seems really bright. Um Sorry. Uh like I look overexposed now and I don't understand why that is. So let me check what that seam is. So if I come to this. Doesn't have audio, and now I have audio again. Sorry about that. I was playing with different cameras and lighting, so now that I fixed it on the Zoom scene, now everything else is going to be okay. I removed my secondary camera. I don't need it. It's just me. Uh, Topics. So one of the things I'm hoping to do in the future, maybe in the very near future, is interviews and uh, talk to some of the people I've worked with or am currently working with about tech and startups and their experience and their career paths and things like that. I've been told I should write a book multiple times. But the books that I've been asked to write are about my stories and not necessarily. It's just funny. Like, so I'll go into a little bit of my history. Uh, Born in Florida and moved to New Orleans for high school, and then graduated. Like, went basically New Orleans is home for me for high school and college, and then even a little bit after college. Then I moved all over, right? Then I was in Atlanta for a brief time. I was in, uh, I would say Seattle, but I really wasn't in. I was in Redmond, and then North Bend, and then Bothell, and then back to Atlanta, then Brooklyn, and then Manhattan. Anyway, I've lived all over. Just all over the U.S. Spent almost a year in Oklahoma, definitely 6 months in Texas. Uh, just those kind of stories, like people. So I was in the National Guard, and I got activated for Desert Storm and went through some Desert Storm training stuff that was really bad. Uh, Ended up getting an Army Achievement Medal. Yay me! You can actually look that up. Have it in my DD-214. And yeah, I went through a lot of different training exercises. Just say that. Uh, but that's just one aspect of me. I danced on the Ellen Show, and people are like, "Wait, what?" I taught hip hop dance in the Pacific Northwest. I danced with San Francisco Ballet. I trained in jiu-jitsu in 4 different states. Doesn't mean I'm good at it, because I am not. Just something I enjoyed. Like, I've been sober now for 20, 22, so almost 22 years next month. And don't get me wrong, the first year of it, actually, that's not true. Uh, the first year and a half of it was a lie, and then I relapsed, and then I came back. And then the next, I would say, 2 to 3 years, really bad. Um, Hard work, not fun, not recommended. Don't recommend people stopping drinking completely unless you absolutely have to. Uh, but glad I did. My life wouldn't be the same. Obviously, my life might not even be here. Uh, but people like to hear those stories. And then some of the other like experiences I've had. I was at Microsoft for 6 years, technically 7, but the first year was a contractor, and they're like, "You were in a blue badge, so it doesn't count." I was like, "That's fine." So I'll say 6 because I was there for 6 years as a blue badge. I was a contractor for my first year there, and it was fun. I've bartended, I've waited tables. I worked at a really nice hotel in New Orleans and waited on Prince, Madonna, Kevin Costner. Trying to think of anyone else that really stood out. Uh, I don't know. It's kind of hard to top Prince, right? Sorry. Um, but those are the stories that people want to know about. Of like, how did you do that? What was that like? And it's like brushes with celebrity fame, but I don't want to be famous. Just want to be connected. Like, a good group of friends hanging out, talking about stuff, and sharing life stories rather than just trying to sell something. Stop selling me things. I'm not selling you anything. I don't want you to buy anything. I actually want you to stop buying things. I'd like you to reduce your expenses. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and past performance does not guarantee future results. Yeah, I've seen that disclaimer a lot, so I'll say that. Also, this is not medical advice, and I am not a doctor, nor do I pretend to be one. I don't have any medical advice for you, but just sharing that. I can talk about political views, I can talk about religions. I studied religions for 2 semesters in college, both Eastern and Western religions. It was really fascinating, actually. I learned a lot, opened my mind to other people's perspective on different things. And I think philosophy was really fun. That was a great class. And like I could talk about my college days when I was student body president. There's something else that people like, how in the world were you? And I was like, I don't know. I hung out in the dorms and then hung out at the bars and ended up meeting so many people that decided to vote for me. Yay me. But I think by doing things like this, it actually really helps me process things and like understand what's important, what's not. I I love startups, always have. I didn't realize how much I loved them until I went back to corporate and realized not not what I like. I mean, I don't mean the insanity, but they're kind of crazy. But what's fun about them is the variety of problems you have to solve on a daily basis. There was a time when I was at Microsoft, it was called BOS, EOS, begin of session, end of session for MSN, for dial up, right? And I wouldn't say I was one of the best. I was the best at the begin of session state for people who connected to MSN internet access dial up. Now, how useful is that outside of Microsoft? Not very useful. Did I learn some foundational coding techniques in regards to that? Yes. But then I progressed and did other things like Windows Live sign up and did some stuff for Xbox and Xbox Live, and that was fun. I met some amazing people there. And I think what I've learned about uh, corporations and what corporations have done for me is that, well, specifically Microsoft, is they have open networks and open doors because people are like, oh, you must be blah 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 if you worked at Microsoft. And it's like the FANG companies today. People look at the FANG companies, they're like, oh, you got hired by Meta or Google or Facebook. I mean, or Amazon. Um, I have met some of the people that have worked at. I'll use Meta, right? I've met people that worked at Google. I've met people that worked at Meta. Some of them are amazing, and then there are others. They are not amazing. Uh, they tripped into it and they got in through a fluke, maybe. I don't know. Maybe the interview process was lazy, or maybe they had a desperate need for someone to fill a position for whatever reason. Uh, but don't assume someone's amazing because they worked at a certain company. It's not true. I would rather have someone who knows how to learn things really quickly. And don't get me wrong, some of those companies are amazing. And I'm a huge Google fan. Everyone knows that about me. But I've also met some people that have worked there, actually a couple that are still there. And they tell me what their day to day is, and it's just I was like, "Are you bored?" They're like, "No, I'm getting paid a lot of money to basically just attend meetings and not really produce anything." And that's one thing that you'll experience at startups is when you go into a startup, or even if you start your own startup and you're doing the solopreneur concept, right? There's a lot to it, right? There's marketing sides of it and getting your first customer and being able to keep that customer and then growing that customer, and how do you handle scale, and then what about the architecture, and then how are you going to market, and what kind of audience do you want, what is your personas that you're trying to actually target, who is your target audience, who is your ideal customer, and like those kind of concepts. And then when you go even past that, then you have to deal with things like uh, what is my operating expense? What is my profit loss margins, right? And you have to handle all of that if you're doing it on your own. That is why, and if you look at all of them, all the big ones, haven't heard anybody who really partnered with Bezos, but uh, Microsoft was Paul Allen, Steve Ballmer, and Bill Gates, right? Um, Apple was Jobs and Wozniak, and I'm trying to think who else. Netflix? I don't know. I don't know who Netflix founders are, but most of them have two, at least, if not three. And doing things on your own is very educational, very difficult. But if it's something you really believe in, it makes sense to go down that path, to have that experience. And then maybe you'll recruit the right people to actually keep you going and keep that motivation. And one of the things I've seen in regards to uh, solopreneurs, because I follow Product Hunt all the time, is the support that they get from the communities that they create, whether it be on X or Facebook or TikTok or any one of the social media platforms. They create these networks that are like cheering them on. And when you're surrounded by people that are cheering you on, it's kind of hard not to keep going and at least build something that they believe in. And it's fun to like there's a hashtag, or I think it's a community group. It's called Build in Public. And I love watching those stories and hearing those people do what they do. It's really fascinating to watch them go. So I'm a self-taught coder and I think I know what I'm doing, and this is what I built. And it works. And then they're like, oh, but I could make this interface better, or I could make this faster, or there's this one feature that a friend of mine thought I should add. And when those friends are giving you that kind of feedback and filling you in with those kind of things, it's pretty amazing of what you can learn from that. Yeah, I haven't done this in a while. Maybe I should just do this for me. That's kind of why I do it anyway. Like, yeah, those don't really change it. Oh, it's because I don't have the website running. But I know I'm babbling, and welcome to a live stream. This isn't a podcast. This is a live stream. So there you go. NPM run dev. All right. So now that's running. So if I do this and I click here and I click on refresh, I should get a border. Boom. Ta-da. Yeah. So much fun. And if I come over into, what page is this? Let's see. Full camera overlay, properties, overlays, full camera. That makes sense. Naming conventions matter. So let's do pages, overlay, full camera. So then if I come into good camera top right, hey, at the border, you can see it, and there it is. Yay! Anyway, good times. Yeah, as you can see, I've upgraded to the Canary version of Next.js. Let's see if I can zoom into that. Whoops. Can I? Oh, I think there's a keyboard. If I do it right, I don't know what the OBS key is for that. Let's see if I can figure that out. OBS preferences, hotkeys. There it is. So it is. Yeah, right. Let's try that. So if I'm here and I do this, nope, nope. Let's see if I do it here. Nope. I wonder if I don't have that set up right. So tools, scripts, Zoom, Zoom source. Yeah, there we go. And we will do that. And then if I come over here and I do, hey, look at that. There you go. So yeah, I'm on the Canary version of this. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, I fixed my Zoom issue. So I wonder if it works here too. So now that I've moved it down here, does it still work? It does. Because I've done it on the right source. Yeah, OBS is a lot of fun. I really like video production work. I'm sure I could do better transitions. Like these wipes are fun and all, but there's some, that's the watercolor. I could do, let's see what blend looks like. Yeah, I like the blend. That's kind of fun. Let's go back here. It's a good transition. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I want to get to here where I'm doing interviews. Right now, obviously, you just see code, but if I had Chrome here, you could actually see all of that. And then I could actually do an interview. Sorry about that. That was the wrong one. What time is it? Oh, it's almost 8:30. So, I'm tired. It's been a long day. Dealing with a lot of random things, both internal and external. I don't know what is the future of this podcast or live stream or whatever. I think I'm pivoting to telling more stories and just talking to people. I I like that kind of connection. I enjoy hearing other people's stories and not just mine. I know my stories. If you want to hear stories, feel free to ask me a question. I'll be more than happy to talk to you, but I'm more interested in what you've done and what your stories are. So, anyway, I am really tired and I am babbling now. And it is now 8:25. So, yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to go. Obviously, this is not scripted. If it is, it's really bad. I will, like, it's really funny. There was an episode, all right, I'm not leaving yet. There was an episode I did a while ago, and that episode was talking about one, consistency, which, let's look at my history. Started off pretty consistent, and then life things happen. And it's really hard to be consistent when you're like things happen, right? Your dog needs to go to the vet. Your mom isn't doing well. The production issue is something that needs to handle. Who knows? It's all about balancing your priorities and what is your priorities. Obviously, family first, right? Well, health first, right? Because if you're not healthy, nothing else matters. But for me, it goes God, sobriety, family. in that order. And those are the kind of things that I think I'm going to talk about, just because that's the most important. Like, you talk about what's most important to you, right? So even though this is titled Startups in Code, maybe I should title it Sobriety in Code. I don't know. That would be kind of funny. But because if you've ever been to early, well funded startups, there is no sobriety in 98% of them, because they're all about happy hours, or, yeah, they caffeinate in the morning and get hammered at night. And it's fascinating to watch. And it is amazing how some of those have ended up being real companies and producing amazing things. But I was like, wow. Uh, I think luck has a lot to do with it. Timing has a lot to do with it. It is not because they're brilliant business people and figured something out. They're just lucky and persistent, is what I've seen more often. Anyway, back to what I was talking about in regards to the previous episode. It was about consistency and then preparation. So let's see. Today for this one, my preparation was 0. Um, yeah, I didn't prep anything. I showed up and I was like, oh, it's 8 o'clock. I think I'm gonna do my podcast today. I call it a podcast. It's not. It's a live stream. We all know it's not a podcast. Why? Because there's no editing. There's no post production. It is live, and it just makes things easier for me. Anyway, post production work takes so long, especially if you're uh, really critical of yourself, and you go, oh, there's too many ums and too many pauses, and what were you talking about? You need to cut this and then edit this and then bring this in. Like, when you're writing, editing that is really, really easy, because you can actually just highlight, done. And now there's AI tools that you can actually do that with video, which is really cool. There's one that you can actually do that. It will take your video, give you the script of it, and allow you to edit the script, and it will actually coordinate it all the way back to the video. So you can edit your video just like you would edit writing. I know they're out there, they're really cool. I enjoy the process. Like, sometimes it's fun to understand the nuances of doing things without AI. And we were talking about, and maybe this will be a topic I'll cover, is AI is becoming so prevalent, right? Like, Apple just talked about Apple Intelligence, and they're using the term AI for Apple Intelligence, but they don't want to get confused. I'm sure there's some licensing propriety issue in regards to, I don't know, somebody's going to copyright that. Doesn't matter. Right now, people are using AI to generate content. They're generating video content. Everyone's familiar with deep fakes. Everyone's learning about, like, all people are like, we will test your submission if it was using AI, and we'll ignore you and whatever, right? So we're getting more and more content, and people are creating more content using AI, using edits, using training materials of previous episodes of whatever they've done. And then they create videos like this, or videos, or blog posts, right? Blog posts. And then almost all of social media, for the people that are maintaining it, there's some level of automation, whether they're using Zapier to actually do it, or they're writing Python scripts to automate it through a webhook. Who knows? But it's not real. It's all automated. This is feeding into that. That's feeding into this algorithm. This algorithm is feeding to that. And based off of the results of that algorithm, it's going to give you this kind of feed. And because of that feed, your own algorithm is going to post off to that algorithm. So you have all these algorithms now talking to each other, and nobody's actually paying attention. And I think what's going to happen, I was talking to a coworker today about it, is we're going to get so inundated with that we're going to miss the reality of each other and just hanging out and not texting, not Snapchatting, TikToking, Xing, whatever you want to call it, posting, liking, Instagramming. We're going to go to places where we put our phones away. Or what's really cool is walking out of your house without your phone. If that's how I pay for everything, great, don't. Grab some cash. Pay for something. What? It's like, imagine going to a restaurant without your phone and sitting across from somebody without your phone and talking to them without your phone. No, you don't need to take pictures of it. You don't need to worry about what somebody's tweeting, posting, sharing, whatever. But you're actually present and you're talking to someone across from you in real life. Not through a Zoom call, not on a YouTube channel like this, but in real life. And pause and you listen. And you don't plan on your response. You actually listen to them. That's where we're going to get to. And that's going to be a glorious time when we actually pay attention to each other again. The craziness that's happening right now, I won't get into. Not yet, at least. But pay attention to the people around you. Surround yourself with people that support you. And try and be a positive force in the world. Build something amazing. And do it because you want to solve a real problem, not because you want to be the next billionaire. It's the wrong reason. Try and do something that helps. It matters. Anyway, that was my little soapbox for the evening. I'm gonna go. I will talk to y'all soon and have a wonderful night. Go build something amazing.